In today's video, I'm going to talk about my 4 favorite apps that help me become a better fisherman. And all these apps are available on Androids as well as iPhones. So if I go to my fishing folder and click on it, you can see the 4 apps. Now each one I will explain in a kind of a basic sense so you get an idea of what these apps do, but I'm not going to go into a deep dive on each app because that would take 30 or more minutes to really get into the details. So in no particular order, I'm going to start with iSolar. So you can see in iSolar, what I can do is I can change my locations. I've got Detroit on here. Let's say I'm going to fish Lake Sinclair. And if I click on the month, it'll show me, based on these stars, which days of the month are going to be the best based on the solar level. So the moonrise, moonset, is it a full moon, a new moon, a quarter moon, things like that. So you can see today happens to be the 12th of July. So I'm just going to click on that. And it says view selected day, so I'll click on that. You can see the major activity is going to be between 5:14 p.m. to 8:14 p.m. So I would know, based on this, that if I'm going to go out and fish, I'd probably want to fish, towards the evening. Also in the early morning, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. is going to be another major activity period. And these solar tables, this is true of a lot of different animals, not just fish, but I'm a big believer in this. I know some people poo-poo these solar activity levels, but time and time again, I'll be on a fishing trip, the fish will be really active. I go back and look at this, and sure enough, it happened during a major period. Now, what I really like about this is let's say I'm going to plan a trip to Canada or some special location. I can go ahead and look at the summer of 2025, and let's say I want to go in June, I can pick the best week. Certainly based on this, the 1st through the 7th would be a bad week to go fishing. Again, I can click on this and view the selected day, and there's still going to be a major and minor, but if you look at the major and minor, they're not going to be as intense, so the fish just simply won't be as active. Obviously, if you're a tournament fisherman, you've got the cards dealt to you. You're going to have to fish on those particular days. But if I'm planning a trip, I want to put the cards, put the best best cards in my hand. So I would want to go possibly the 7th through the 14th. That would be a good week, or maybe the 21st through the 28th or 29th. Those would be the good weeks. And this is, again, all based on the moon. So if I just click on the 25th, for example, go to selected day, you can see up in the upper right-hand corner, it says that the illumination is 0. So in other words, that's a new moon. It's going to be dark, and then you've got your solar conditions. So that's the first app that I really, really like. I use it a lot. The next one is Ionic batteries. I switched over to some batteries that are lithium, and this one comes with an app, and I'm sitting in my house right now. My boat is in the garage. If you're within about 25 to 30 feet of your boat, it'll give you your battery charge. So you can see my charge is at 99%. And so when I use this, actually I'm in my basement, so I just lost that connection. I'm more than 30 feet away. But you saw how it worked. And basically, if during the day when I'm fishing, I can check my battery at noon, at 3 o'clock, at 4 o'clock to see how the charge is. All right, the third is an app called Windy. Now, I do fish the Great Lakes a lot. I go up to Door County, I go to Lake Superior, I fish Lake Sinclair. I fish some big bodies of water where wind is a major issue. And this Windy app will tell you the wind. Now, if you look down at the bottom, you can see for this whole area, I'll just zoom in on Sturgeon Bay here. You can see the wind direction, and it's blue. So if you look at the very bottom, you can see that the blue is less than 6 miles an hour. So maybe in the 6 mile an hour range. If I toggle along the bottom, I can look ahead to 2 p.m., 7 p.m. Okay, you can see by 7 p.m. that wind direction is changing. Let me back up again. Here it's southwest in the morning, and by the time I get up to 7 p.m., 8 p.m., it's straight south, and the color has changed. It's kind of this weird muted blue, so now we're getting above 6 miles an hour. Let me just go to another day. Okay, here we go. So now we're getting into the green, so this is going to be even windier. So this is midnight, 12 a.m. It's starting to change. So the nice thing about this, anywhere you are in the country, let me zoom out, you can see the wind. So I can zoom in. I could be up in Canada, I can be anywhere in the country, and you're going to see the winds. So again, for right now, when I'm filming this video, if I zoomed out, I can see some of the windier spots in the country right now, or over there in South Dakota, northern Texas, Oklahoma. But again, not too windy, but probably in the 10 to 15 mile an hour range. So let's go back to Sturgeon Bay. Now these are the Great Lakes. If I wanted to fish some of these Lake Michigan sides, like Bailey Harbor or Jacksonport, you can see that wind is traveling hundreds of miles along Lake Michigan. So by the time, they call that fetch. So even though the wind is the same strength, the waves are going to be building by the time they get up to this side. However, if I fish the other side over here on maybe the Sister Bay or Ephraim, I'm going to be really protected from the wind. Again, this is an app that's free, doesn't cost a dime, and really, really useful, and can help make for safer trips for you. And then the last one I want to mention is this One Boat Network by Humminbird. It's this triangular one. And you do not have to be a Humminbird owner to use this. Again, I'm not going to go into all the details. This is a very complex app. But for the non-Humminbird owners, you can do this chart view. So it's the third one down, and you have to sign up for this one. This one does cost. This is, I believe, $24.99 a year, so a little over $2 a month. It's really pretty inexpensive. And I'm just going to zoom out here. I can go anywhere in the country, and there are maps. So I'm going to go to a state that I never fish. Let's go to North Carolina. I'm going to zoom in on a lake. And again, this is a lake I don't know anything about, but you can see I've got all the contours. And as this reloads, the contours are color coded, so I can really see specific information. So here we go. Again, a lake I've never been on, but I can see a couple things right off the bat. I can see, for instance, this area I'm going to zoom in on. There's an old roadbed. Let it reload. And these colors are going to show you that the deep red is going to be the shallowest, the dark blue is going to be the deepest. So you can see this green coloration is from about 16 to 20 foot. Okay, and as I zoom in, I've got more detail on the shallower. If you also notice that this is a Google Earth photo of the shoreline, and again, in another video, I'll explain this, but I can pull these colors off, and this will show me all the docks and everything. So this app, I'm on all the time, even during the non-fishing season. I live up in the north, so I don't do much fishing in the wintertime, but I'm already scouting lakes that I want to fish. Let's go to that. Let's go to Lake Sinclair right here. Lake Sinclair doesn't have a whole lot of structure, but there is structure within the structure. And you can see I've got some waypoints put up here. I was with a guide, and we were drifting, fishing for muskie, and we were doing some drifts, and I just put waypoints along those drifts so I can go back, and I know that those are areas in in the late part of the season where you might want to fish. And so again, another video, I can explain to you how this all works, how to put in the waypoints, but really, really a great app. I am going to show you one detail right here. I was on this area of Sturgeon Bay, Door County, fishing for smallmouths, and a friend of mine found a magic spot where he just caught fish after fish after fish. I'm going to zoom in pretty quick so it doesn't give away the spot too much. But after seeing the color coding, I started to realize why this area was so good. So let's just zoom in. Here we go. And if you notice by the colors, this makes like a horseshoe. So we've got shallow water in the red and the orange, and then deeper water in this trough in the middle. And my friend had his boat positioned right here. I'll put a waypoint there so you can see the waypoint. So he had his boat in this deeper water and was casting towards these shallower shelves, both to the northwest of him and then to the southeast. And he just caught smallmouth after smallmouth after smallmouth. Now that depends on the time of year. We were there at the time where the fish were pretty shallow. But I couldn't, he tried to explain to me what the area looked like. I didn't quite understand it, but once I looked on this app, it's like, I can see exactly why he just had the boat positioned in a perfect spot. So again, those are the apps that I like to use. I basically use these pretty much every day that I go out on the water, but more importantly, I use a lot of these when I'm at home to figure out what time of year I want to fish something or just scout out different lakes. All right, hopefully this helps you guys out. Good luck fishing in the future.